2016, the countdown to Election Day is winding down. In fact, we are just 9 days away from that big day. Aside from the race for president, there are a number of other important issues voters will have to decide. One issue facing Harris County voters is HISD's Proposition 1. Channel 2's Brandon Walker has an all-encompassing look at Prop 1, including what's at stake and who's for and against it.
Opponents of Proposition 1 gather today with signs in tow, urging voters to vote no.
This becomes a bucket to supplant education dollars, not to supplement.
Zeph Capo is president of the Houston Federation of Teachers. The union is against the ballot question. As written, Proposition 1 asks voters to authorize the Board of Trustees of Houston Independent School District to purchase attendance credits from the state with local tax revenues. What that means, though, is a question of whether HISD should send money to Austin per state law, according to what's called state recapture. And recapture is already on the books. It requires school districts deemed property tax rich to send money to the state. That money, in turn, is supposed to be used to help school districts that don't rake in top dollars from property taxes, sort of like a Robin Hood tax, keeping the educational playing field even. HISD is now considered a property-rich district, so it's required to pay $162 million in property tax money next year to the recapture pot. And over the next 4 years,
it's about taking away $1 billion from our schools.
Opponents to Prop 1, including Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, say the ballot question is misleading. Also,
removing dollars from our local classrooms and community and being sent elsewhere.
Well, it's a complicated topic.
Ben Becker represents a group called HISD Parent Advocates, which is urging voters to say yes.
Vote yes because it saves Houston ISD $231 million over the course of 4 year.
Becker says voting no would cost HISD more down the line, the state taking valuable property from the district to make up for lost revenue. And he says the billion-dollar price tag associated with keeping recapture would not result in cuts opponents have stressed.
We did 80% of the cuts necessary to pay for recapture this year. Those deficits decrease next year and go away.
Both sides agree that it's time to have a conversation about how our schools are funded, but any change would require legislative action, and that's the hiccup here. Those in opposition to Proposition 1 say a no vote would force the state's hand, but those who are voting yes say that that's not the right approach. They say laws are meant to be followed. I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC Channel 2 News.
And early voting continues tomorrow, but the hours will vary if you're heading out to the polls. In Harris, Brazoria, along with Galveston County, locations will be open from 1 to 6. In Fort Bend, along with Montgomery voters, well, you can cast your ballots from noon until 5. And you can find all of this information right now on our website, click2houston.com.
In the race for the White House, Donald Trump